Here's the question. How do you make the impossible possible? Simple. Remove the I am, the ego. Now, how do you step into that newfound possibility? With a series of small intentional steps. Never forget, the greatest among us started from humble beginnings. But to truly unlock your potential, realize you're here for something greater. If you're yearning for more than just a good life, let's take that small step together to reach greatness. Welcome to the Greatness from Small Beginnings podcast, where we're talking to those who have gone from mediocrity to motivated, overlooked to overachieving, forgettable to unforgettable. Are you ready? Let's go.
Well, hello, everybody. This is Keith, Greatness from Small Beginnings podcast. And man, do I have that story. I'm going to get into something. Bear with me. I'm going to put a cough drop in my mouth. It has been quite a deal trying to get rid of a cough. But just keep struggling through, right? I'm going to talk about core values today. Big subject around me, for me, inside of me. Actually, it started 2 years ago. Been working with a coach, and we've been working through core values a lot. That's one of the main things, and we keep cycling back to them in different contexts. And I'm going to read some stuff that I found that wasn't from him, but someone else. But I think it's really good. It'll be a lot of reading and some questions and action steps at the end. So all this to say, I believe that you should have personal core values, things that are secure about you, that don't change, that your actions continue to say that is your core value. For me, a couple of main ones are that I abide. My desire is to abide with God, and that to gain wisdom and share wisdom. Those are two of my core values. To abide with family, abide with my wife and family. I use the word abide because that's an intentional word that I chose because of what it conjures in my mind. So that's three of the four. Okay, here I'm going to start reading. Our core values are not just statements we make or believe we hold internally. They are the evidence that what we say truly matters. Core values are all about action, confirmed by action, right? Core values provide a foundation for our actions, ensuring that what we do aligns with what we believe. You heard that statement. If you believe the chair is going to hold you, you'll sit down. If you don't believe it's going to hold you, then you don't sit down. That's acting on what we believe. If we say that we value honesty, a core value of integrity gives credibility to that belief by shaping our choices and behavior, especially when no one is watching. Our actions are a direct reflection of our values. When we live by our core values, our actions shine, and others can see the authenticity of our belief or lack thereof. The proof of what you value is not what you possess, it's what you do. People's behavior is often incongruent with what they claim to value. It is not enough to say that we believe in something. We must just demonstrate it consistently that our beliefs have weight. Core values are what gives substance and credibility to our words. And this doesn't matter if it's your company, your work, in your home, and for you personally. Most have two sets of values. One they claim to hold, one they actually live according to. Two different ones. If I claim to value relationships, but my actions consistently alienate people around me, I don't truly value relationships. Great people only have one set of values. The ones that we profess and live are the same. Think of great companies who have placed a high value on customer service and satisfaction. Their core value of service is evident in how they treat their customers and how they handle complaints and how they strive to make customers' experience exceptional. When businesses truly value their customers, it shows in every interaction, giving credibility to that core value. Without consistent action based on core values, even the most inspiring statements become meaningless. That's why company visions, without living out core values, company missions, organizational missions don't hold water if it's not lived out. Living by our core values is challenging, especially when the cost of staying true to them is high. However, it's precisely in those moments that the credibility of our value system is either confirmed or undermined. When others see us making sacrifices to stay true to our values gain credibility. When we compromise our values for convenience or comfort, our values lose their power. The credibility of our beliefs is not established by what we say. It is proven by what we do. So we can continue by my reading that, of course, I stole from someone else. That's the way it works, huh? The good stuff comes from someone else. It's not new. I will live by my core values. Declare this with me. I will live by my core values, knowing that they give credibility to what I believe and why I believe it. I will let my actions speak louder than my words, demonstrating my commitment to live authentically. Authentically. So we need to live them out because they are us and we are them. Actually, if they aren't us and we aren't them, then we have different values. Interesting, right? Reflection questions and action steps. What are your core values and how do you give credibility to your beliefs? Good to identify them. I shared 3 of mine, my personal core values, my family core values. I have those listed also. I share them with my entire family once a year at least. I have honed it down to 3 main ones with the idea that each of the families in the family could add 1 or 2 if they want to. But coming up on year number 3 that I'm sharing it with them consistently, I want them to know. How can you better align your actions with your values to demonstrate authenticity? We have to have them first. So you need to boil them down, reach out to me in any form, and I will help you because I actually understand now a mechanism to do it. And I have a good tool. Sometimes you have to understand the opposite of a value to understand what the actual value is. Like, what do you not want to be? And then you can identify and name the value. That's what I had to do on several of mine as I've worked through them. So that was number 2. How can you better align your actions with your values to demonstrate them authentically? That's step number 2, but you have to know them. What areas of your life do you need to let your actions speak louder than your words? I have struggled with that a little bit lately. There's been some areas in my life where for about a decade, I've been very patient and I haven't spoken much about certain things. And I've realized that now is time to speak more often. And it's a little uncomfortable. I've built a habit of watching, observing, and kind of be in that sage mentality that it's like, oh, okay, I understand what's going on here, but maybe it's not for me to say at the moment. And I'm starting to realize that I need to say it more often than I ever have in the past, which is, of course, uncomfortable and puts me in a rough situation, especially if it's family and they know my flaws and all that stuff. But it doesn't mean I shouldn't address it and say it, take in essence a risk. Okay, here's an action step. Identify 1 core value that you want to focus on today. Again, reach out if you need help figuring out a core value that is core to you. And I have methods to help you do that. Think of one practical way you can live that value out in your actions. Make a plan to demonstrate this value consistently and reflect on how it enhances the credibility of your beliefs. Isn't that interesting that it always goes back to credibility? When you have values that you live out, it lends itself to credibility. Your words then match your actions, and you're at credibility of your words and your actions they're then both in really great shape. Anyway, that's what I want to share today. It's a short one, but it's very powerful. Very powerful for me. When I get off target and wonder, well, what should I do right now? You have some extra time. I have a minute. My mind is going crazy. What should I hone in on? Well, for me, it's always find wisdom, share wisdom, or abide with family, intensely, like invite deeply with family, my wife and family. If I can't do that one, then I defer to the next one, the wisdom. But I want to abide most with God. And some of those are related. They're often related to each other, and how I pull those off, how I search for wisdom and abide with God are very similar to each other in many cases. They are a little bit different, but they're very similar in the actions, steps that I take, which means that I'm in the Word often, daily, absolutely daily. And I live that way. I live digging in and trying to learn more. So I'll go back to the action step. Identify one core value that you want to focus on today. Think of one practical way you can live out that value in your actions. Make a plan to demonstrate the value consistently and reflect on how it enhances the credibility of your beliefs. I saw a chart from the coach that I use that helped me with my core values. And he said, consistency, there's a list of how to get to a really quality life. Consistency builds trust. Trust builds respect. Respect builds love. Love builds intimacy. And I think there's one more and I can't remember it. But anyway, then it dovetails into quality filled life. But it starts with consistency. And consistency always has to do with digging into your values. What are you about? And what is solid in you that will never change? If it's a bad thing, then you have to fix it. But if it's a good thing that needs to persist to you be you in this world, then you have to live it out and be authentic with it. That being said, I'm going to go back to where I always go to finish out the podcast, Zig Ziglar's quote. You, my people, were designed for accomplishment, engineered for success, and endowed with the seeds of greatness. I believe that with all my heart. Now the call to action, now go be great.